Hey there, Darkstar here. We are back in the Piaggio on leg 11 of our world tour. We're flying from where we last landed in Italy down to Algeria. The airport is going to be Delta Alpha Uniform Uniform in Ouargla. Also known as Ain Beida Airport. As per usual, we'll get the planes set up externally, and then we will go do our flight plan. Okay, GPU's on, battery's coming on, avionics on. We'll let this guy initialize. And we want to make sure ground power is on, which oddly it was on, but then I guess it isn't, I don't know. Okay, so I loaded up a basic flight here. Oh, and today might be kind of a weird one. I may have to pause periodically and do other things. We'll see how far we can get. But if there are little glitches in the video, it's because I'm having to pause. I'll try to leave everything kind of as it was or pretty closely, but it's probably going to happen. Alright, let's save that one. And we can go ahead and import that from SimBrief to get started. I like to double check in here because as you see this says like not used. And also over here we can go and check out the weather. We even have the SayIntentions weather. So let's see, arriving and departing runway 30 indeed. So of course, I was thinking we'd be on 12. So I started up at this end of the runway, so we'll taxi down to 30. Let's get out the notepad. I'm going to attempt to use the automation checklists with SayIntentions, and we'll see how that goes. This will be first full run through on it. Uniform. Okay, so let's assume it's 30. We have information November. Which I always just write down the letter and draw a circle around it. Wind is 80 at 5. Temp is 22. I found out what KAWKA means. It basically means clouds and visibility okay. for VFR flying. So good conditions. And then UNH 1023. Okay. So let's switch this to 30. I guess I could have just done switch to. Love the route picker on here. They did such a good job on this. I have to say I'm a little bit okay. So we can either go that way, so do a right turn, come back, or we can go straight out and come down this way. I'm gonna pick this one, I think. We either have no winds here or no weather data. LOMED 6 Zulu departure. See if we get any data for this. There is no data available. Just winds are calm. What did this one pick? 36. That would be that one. I'm thinking let's pick 20. All else being equal, I guess. That way we can just go straight in. Oh, interesting. It's 20 here, but there's an 18 and a 19, so I'm guessing it's this one. It's close to 20. Ah, the only ILS is 36. Let's see. Even though we're probably technically not Cat C, I think I'm going to take the Cat C one. Yeah, we'll do what. We'll do cat AB, I guess. No, I want to do cat CD. Gives us a little bit more room. We'll turn out this way and come in. Gives you about 30 more seconds, I think. Okay, no arrivals available. Let's see what happens if we do this. And then you can go in here and you can say route. Okay, we will bring that back to SimBrief. There we go. So we got 840 nautical miles. Alright, and then I like to come down in here and just say, because for all these legs I've been taking max fuel. So we have 898 extra possible pounds of fuel. So we can put that in. Where's the fuel? There it is. And now we have max fuel in the plan. Okay, we have favorable winds today. It's picked 37,000 feet. I'll go with that. It's a little lower than I normally fly, but so we're up here in Bologna. Right smack in the desert here. Okay, let's see, let's check our departure and check the No Star ILS 36. And now I don't remember. Let's see, it should be in Navigraph. Hour 1. 3 passengers, 150 pounds of cargo. Fuel is not right yet. Let's get our weights loaded up on the plane. Oh, no. We're not putting a passenger in the toilet. Although apparently you can. Okay, now it looks right. Takeoff was 80 and 5. 22 for the temp. And 1023 QNH. And I still am failing to find runway slope. Let's take a stab at it. I feel like it should be... Ah, there we go. Okay. And then what if we go here? Information, runway. Okay, minus 0.37, which is as good as 0, to be honest. Oh. Anti-ice off, flaps mid. We will accept that. Okay, legs are done, departure arrival's done, perf's done. Let's go 12211. I love that. Okay, I'm gonna have to start up SayIntentions, which is gonna switch to the interior view of a real Piaggio. Really? Okay, and did it change my radio? Why did it change my radio? 12211. That's annoying. Okay, let's see. Are we ready? I guess. Let's go ahead and get our SkyOps. This is SkyOps. Piaggio, November 180 Lima Golf. We'd like to pick up a VIP transport to Delta Alpha Uniform.
Hold on, while I check the mission queue, I'll get back to you in 1 to 2 minutes. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf SkyOps, we have VIPs in the lounge waiting to board. Mission, transport Mr. Jacques LeBlanc, celebrity chef and head of Cuisine Royale, to Algiers Delta Alpha Uniform. He's joined by his sous chef and personal assistant. Ensure a smooth, luxurious flight. We're sending your crew over now. Expect to be airborne soon.
Okay, while they're doing that, I'm gonna do the pre-flight checks. Okay, all covers are removed. Let's go ahead and leave the chocks in place for now. Parking brake is set. Gear lever is down. Master switch panel. Everything is preset off. We just got battery and avionics
Evening, Captain.
on.
We are just getting situated. Just to let you know, we have a nervous flyer this time around. I'll let you know when we are secure and ready.
Okay, let's go. All right, let's see if we can do this. Let's run the cockpit preparation checklist.
Cockpit preparation. Battery switch. Set to on.
Yep.
Avionics master switch. Set to COM 1. Ground power connected on FMC.
Check.
External power message on MFD.
Check.
Steering test passed.
Check.
Stall test passed.
Check.
Flaps test passed.
Check.
Ice detection test passed.
Check.
Battery overheat test passed.
I don't know that there's a test. Check.
Engine fire detection test passed.
Let's go ahead and test our lights while we're coming through there. Oops. Lamps and fire detection. Check.
Fuel quantity test passed.
Check.
Landing gear test passed.
And check.
Cockpit preparation checklist complete.
Okay. Let's run the flight preparation checklist.
Flight preparation. Avionics master switch. Set to on. Flight plan loaded.
Check.
Discontinuities deleted.
Check.
IFR clearance received.
That would be next. All right, let's go to ground on 121925. 1925. Bologna ground, Piaggio November 180 Lima Golf would like to pick up our IFR clearance to Delta Alpha Uniform with information November.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Bologna ground, cleared to Delta Alpha Uniform via the LOMED 6 Zulu departure, runway 30. Initial climb to 5,000. Departure on 118.15, squawk 5372.
Clear to Delta Alpha Uniform via the LOMED 6 Zulu departure runway 30. Initial climb to 5,000. Departure on 118.15, squawk 5372. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, read back correct.
Alright, so now we say check.
Local QNH set.
Local QNH was 1023. And oops. Okay. Check.
Transponder set.
And that was 5372. And I don't have a button for that. And check.
Initial cleared altitude set.
That was 5,000. Check.
Runway heading set.
That is 30. Or that way. Ish. Check.
Flight directors set to on.
Check.
Yaw damper set to on.
Now the cool thing I found out is if you turn it on now, you can see it get activated here. It doesn't show up other times. Check.
Flight preparation checklist complete.
Let's run the before engine start checklist. So it should change the switch.
Before engine start.
Should go test,
EPU switch.
and then arm.
Test then armed.
Armed. Good.
Bleeds. Set to off.
Off.
Seatbelt sign. Set to on.
Automatically.
Chocks removed.
Check.
Start clearance received.
Bologna ground, Piaggio, November 180 Lima Golf. Would like permission to push and start. What happened? Let's go and get the doors closed. Are the passengers loaded and ready to go?
Dark, it's grand to hear from you again. Remember our last jaunt to Bologna for that industry expo? Quite the adventure, wasn't it? As for today, our celebrity chef and his entourage have just buckled up and are ready to go.
Bologna ground, Piaggio, November 180 Lima Golf, requesting permission to push and start. Although we're gonna do start and push, I think.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, push and start approved.
Ryanair 34906 ready to taxi.
Ryanair 34906, runway 30, taxi via Uniform Tango Kilo.
Runway 30 taxi via Uniform Tango Kilo Ryanair 34906.
Push and start approved, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Alright, GPU is on. Let's say, please run the engine start checklist.
Start clearance received.
So position lights on. Check.
Ryanair 34906, give way to the Patriot Mentor
Before
on
engine
your right.
start checklist complete.
We'll give way to the Patriot Mentor, Ryanair 34906.
I forgot it was waiting on that check. Let's run the engine start checklist.
Engine start. Position light. Set to on.
Check. Check.
Anti-collision light. Set to ground.
Check.
Recognition light.
Check.
Set to on. Ground power disconnected on FMC.
Do I really want to do that here? I guess we could. That disconnects it here. Check. So now it's going to turn these on.
Firewall shutoff valves. Set to on. Fuel pumps. Set to on.
Yep. I should say
Propeller
main,
set to
though.
cutoff. Check.
Check.
Start right engine.
Start. Oh, it's waiting for me. Check.
Right propeller set to ground idle. Check.
Check.
Right propeller to flight idle.
Well, of course we wait for it to start, but... Check.
Start left engine.
Check. Left engine start.
Left propeller set to ground idle. Check.
Check.
Left propeller to flight idle.
Check.
Generator switches.
Those,
Set to
those
on.
go on.
Hydraulic switch.
On.
Set to on.
Bleeds on.
Bleeds. Set to on. Cooling fan. Set to on.
That's that one.
Engine start checklist complete.
Alright. Let's do the push. And release parking brake. And on hold and see what it does, because I don't know if it took that or not, because it keeps being buggy. Looks like it worked though. And parking brake set. Let's run the before taxi out checklist.
Before taxi out. Transponder set on FMC.
Check.
V-speed set.
Check.
Barometer set to local.
Check.
Pitch trim set.
Check. Should be flaps.
Flaps set for takeoff.
Check.
Flight controls free and correct.
Check.
Taxi clearance received.
Bologna ground, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf is ready to taxi.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, runway 30, taxi via Whiskey, Zulu, Tango Sierra, Tango Kilo.
Taxi to runway 30 via Whiskey, Zulu, Tango Sierra, Tango Kilo. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Tango is up ahead. Oh, we have arrows, so that's always helpful. I set those to come on automatically. I don't know if I like it for sure, but we're going with it for now. Okay. Check. Now it's going to do prop sync.
Prop sync switch. Set to on. Pitot and static heat. Set to on. Windshield heat.
Uh-oh, that one didn't take.
Set to low. Taxi lights. Set to on.
Lights.
Before taxi out checklist complete.
All right, our left pitot didn't take. So I'll work on that one. Run the taxi out checklist.
Taxi out. Brake check.
Check.
Prop reverse.
Uh-oh. Check. Need to add
prop feathering.
Steering. I don't know how to actually check feathering. I'm afraid I'm going to cut it off if I go too far. But we're going to say that looks pretty good. What you doing? Let's see if we're actually going to clip. Okay, I need to remember to turn steering on for the very start, or before taxi out. Why is it? I have this issue with the brakes sometimes. They just get, it's like stuck on and I have to tap the brakes to get them to come off. Kind of weird. Okay, we are on Tango. We're going all the way down to Kilo. Check.
Taxi out checklist complete.
Okay, I think so. Once we get to this hold short, I think I'm going to have to do a pause or uno momento. Okay, all systems are looking good. We're going to go back to not plan. Hey, there comes a plane into land.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact tower on 120.1, safe flight.
Tower on 120.1, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Okay, co-pilot in charge of radio. To 0.1. Yep. Let's run the hold short checklist.
Hold short. Togo mode engaged. Verify flight director pitch.
Hey, Toga pitch.
Ryanair 1 Romeo Lima, contact ground
Check.
on 121.9 or 25.
Radar on.
Ground Ryanair 1 Romeo Lima.
Check.
Transponder set on FMC.
Check.
Cassette to TA on FMC.
Check.
Propeller RPM set to max.
Check. You know, we
Throttle to 2000 RPM.
should probably set the parking brake. Okay. Okay, check. Okay, now it's going to run the overspeed test.
Overspeed test left prop.
So left prop
Verify
drop.
left RPM drop. Overspeed test right prop.
Right prop drop.
Verify right RPM drop. Overspeed test complete.
Complete. Go back to 2000.
Verify 2000 RPM. Throttle back to idle. Auto feather switch. Set to armed.
Check.
Steering mode. Set to takeoff.
Check.
Takeoff clearance received.
Bologna Tower, Piaggio, November 180 Lima Golf. We are holding short, runway 30, ready for departure. Check.
Piaggio 180 Lima.
Anti-collision
Bologna
light.
Tower, runway 30, wind
Set to
080
air.
at 5, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 30, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf.
Landing lights. Oh, set to on.
I don't know what that is, but it does
Bleeds.
that every time.
Set to off.
Off. We're going bleeds off this time.
Hold short checklist complete.
Alright, parking brake released.
Runway 30, cleared for takeoff. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Approaching runway 30.
Okay, so I'm gonna do just a sanity check here. So let's see, climb to 5,000. Heading set, lights are all on, we don't need wing, we've got tune up here, flaps are set, trim is set. Everything here is set, everything there is set. This doesn't really matter yet. We'll lower that before we land. That's good. I don't know, I guess maybe we should get cockpit blower on. I don't think these really do anything currently. I don't think there's any modeling for the inside. Alright, I would say we're ready for takeoff. Let's set takeoff power. Auto feathering has armed.
On runway 30 remaining. 6,800 feet.
Okay, there's rotate. Positive rate, gear up.
India Romeo Juliet Yankee Foxtrot, holding short of 30, ready for takeoff.
Okay, flaps
India
up.
Romeo Juliet Yankee Foxtrot, wind 080 at 5, runway 30, cleared for takeoff. cleared for takeoff. 30 India Romeo Juliet Yankee Foxtrot. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact departure on 118.15.
Switching to departure on 118.15. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Bologna departure, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening, climbing through 1000.
We are above the altitude constraint. Add a little power.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Bologna departure identified. Climb flight level 270, turn left heading 210, then direct Papa Echo 613 when able.
Climb flight level 270. Left heading 210, then direct PE 613 when able. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Okay, left heading 210, flight level 270, dialed in, direct to PE when able. Okay. I don't have a PE. Let's just go to PE 613, I guess. And nav on. Nav confirmed. Flight level change. All right. Let's run the climb checklist, which will be bleeds back
Climb.
on.
Bleeds add. Set to 1. Gear.
Is up.
Flaps up.
Check.
Auto feather switch. Set to off.
Off.
10,000 feet.
Check.
Landing lights.
Off.
Set to off.
Seatbelts.
Seatbelt sign. Set to off. 18,000 feet.
Check.
Barometer. Set to standard. Climb checklist complete.
That is it for now. Bologna departure, Piaggio, November 180 Lima Golf, request flight level 370.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, climb flight level 300.
That's not what I requested.
Climbing flight level 300, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, climb flight level 370.
There we go.
Since there are no specific points of interest nearby,
Let me tell you about Bologna, the closest
Piaggio
major city.
180 Lima Golf.
Bologna is famous for its leaning towers. Yes, Pisa isn't the only place with a tower that looks like it's had one too many. The city is also home to the oldest university in the Western world, founded in 1088. Bologna's medieval city center is packed with porticos, stretching over 38 kilometers, so you can walk around and stay dry, even if the weather can't make up its mind. And if you're a fan of Italian food, who isn't? This is the birthplace of tagliatelle al ragu, which the rest of the world calls spaghetti bolognese, though the locals might roll their eyes at that name.
Okay, pressurization's coming up. Lights are all set. Let's put this back on tune.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact Zagreb radar on 124.375.
Okay, we're gonna do a little.
Contacting Zagreb radar on 124.375. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Okay, we're gonna do a little unattended flying here. I'll check on it.
Zagreb radar, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening. Climbing through flight level 170 for flight level 370.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Zagreb radar identified. Good evening. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact Milan radar on 132.705.
Switching to Milan radar on 132.705. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Milan radar, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening, flight level 190 for flight level 370. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Milan radar identified. Good evening. Wheeling 149er contact. Rome radar on 132.525.
132.525 for Wheeling 149er. Good day.
I tweaked the throttle a bit here. We're getting a little hot. I'm gonna work those prop RPM down as we get into thinner air. could code an auto throttle using like SPAD or one of those other programs. Like monitor ITT and adjust the throttle accordingly.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Contact Rome radar on 132.525. Switching to Rome radar on 132.525. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Rome radar, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening. Flight level 330 for flight level 370.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Rome radar identified. Good evening.
Should be seeing the coast pretty soon here. Yeah, there it is, right there. Every time I go back here, I learn something new. I did not know you could put the headrest up. I knew you could do this. And there's an entertainment system here. And of course these ones here. And you can fiddle with, I think, pretty much all the doors and drawers and cabinets, like these ones. Kind of cool. All right, we are up at cruise. Let's run the cruise checklist.
Cruise power?
Check, set.
Engine instruments?
Check.
Airspeed?
Check.
Pressurization?
Check.
Cruise checklist complete.
Let's just do a fuel check. Perf, fuel management, previous plane position, 1290 pounds required, 2370 on board. So yeah, we should have plenty of fuel. We can go to RA mode, I guess. Actually, let's leave it in TA. Alright, we're going to cruise out over the Mediterranean here. Let's see. Cruise phase it is.
Radar Center 3 Delta X-ray, flight level 330.
Center 3 Delta X-ray, radar contact. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Contact Oceanic on 119 or decimal 56, 5 squawk 2000.
Switching to Oceanic on 119 or decimal 565, squawk 2000, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Oceanic Control, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening at flight level 370.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Oceanic Control, good evening. Radar contact 15 miles south of Elmas, flight level 370, flight following to DAUU.
Radar contact 15 miles south of Elmas, flight level 370, flight following to DAUU, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
getting our 20-minute warning on descent time pretty soon, I would think. This says 9. We can always call ready for descent. At 4:23, 1025, and it was negative 0.37. That'll work. We're still on Oceanic. I'm wondering if it's because we don't have a rival loaded that it's... And like, I don't feel like we should be on Oceanic anymore. So let's try something different. Center Piaggio 180 Lima Golf is with you at flight level 370.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Algiers Maghreb Control, good evening, squawk 1616. Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, radar contact 34 south of Biskra at flight level 360, Biskra QNH 1024, I'll have you descending in just a minute.
Biskra QNH 1024, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Okay, I already did it. I think because we have the co-pilot running comms for now.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact Algiers Maghreb Control on 125.4.
Contacting Algiers Maghreb Control on 125.4. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Algiers Maghreb Control, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening, with you, flight level 370.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Algiers Maghreb control identified. Good evening.
We'll see if they have us descend. We can descend a lot faster than we normally do.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Whenever you'd like to send flight level 260.
Flight level 260, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Let's run the descent checklist.
Descent. Seatbelt sign. Set to on. Monitor speed and engine until transition altitude. Verify arrival and approach procedures loaded.
Check.
Barometer set to destination QNH.
we're going for parking spot 9. This is on the far north end of the field. Down here. Grab control, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Can we go ahead and get descent to our approach? I feel like it's confused because there's no arrival. Hello.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, descent flight level 160.
Descending flight level 160, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Right, we come in this way and we loop around. waiting for a clearance to a non-flight level so we can switch off standard.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact Algiers Maghreb Control on 124.1.
Switching to Algiers Maghreb Control on 124.1. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Algiers Maghreb Control, Piaggio 180 Lima Golf. Good evening, flight level 180 for flight level 160.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Algiers Maghreb Control identified. Good evening. Expect the ILS runway 36 approach into Ouargla.
Expecting the ILS runway 36 approach into Ouargla. Piaggio 180 Lima Golf.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, I'm extending your downwind to get you down a bit. Descend flight level 050, turn left heading 180 vectors for the ILS runway 36 approach. QNH 1023. Descent flight level 040.
Doesn't sound like a flight level to me.
Descending flight level 050. Left heading 180 for vectors to ILS runway 36. QNH 1023. Piaggio 180 Lima, Golf. Descending flight level 040. Piaggio 180 Lima, Golf.
QNH set, check.
Seatbelt sign. Set to on. Monitor speed and engine until transition altitude.
Check.
Monitor speed and engine until transition altitude.
I don't know why it's repeating. Check.
Monitor speed and engine until transition altitude.
Let's abort that checklist. So next up was auto feather to armed. That should come off. Landing lights on.
Since there aren't any major landmarks right beneath us, let me tell you about Ouargla, the city we're approaching. Ouargla is known as the gateway to the Sahara and has been an important oasis settlement for centuries. The city played a key role as a stop on ancient trans-Saharan trade routes, where caravans would rest and resupply before braving the desert. Its old town, called the Qasar, is built with traditional Saharan architecture. Think mud brick walls designed to keep things cool when the sun is doing its best impression of an oven. Aviation fans might appreciate that Ouargla's airport, DAUU, is a hub for flights connecting remote desert communities, making it a lifeline for the region.
pressurization is coming down. Okay, landing pressurization is set. Lights are on. Should be up here on our right. I don't know if I'll be able to see it. So up ahead, lake here, littler body of water there. Thinking that one might be that one. Not sure. Green patch, big patch here. So down that way, there's this road right here. Cuts across there and somewhere right over here. There it is. So I'll be landing on that runway and parking up in this area here. Okay, slow down, gear down, flaps, approach mode. So we want to land long. So our best, we're probably going to go all the way down the runway and just cut across here. So let's try and land as long as possible. Well, not as long as possible, but reasonably long.
descend, flight level 035, turn right, heading 205.
Descend flight level 035, turn right, heading 205, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Okay, vertical speed down, heading 205. Done as you ask, sir.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, 5 miles from CI36. Turn right, heading 265, descend altitude 2460 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 36 approach, QNH 1024.
Turn right, heading 265, descend altitude 2,460 feet until established. Cleared for the ILS runway 36 approach, QNH 1024, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf. Altitude will go down to 2,500. And we will switch to VR1. And we're going to slow down. Okay, let's set an intercept. I took my eye off the ball for a moment there. I should have armed nav mode.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, contact Ouargla Tower on 118.7.
Ouargla Tower on 118.7, crossing CI36, Piaggio 0 Lima Golf.
Piaggio 0 Lima.
Ouargla Tower, Piaggio November 180 Lima Golf is with you inbound ILS runway 36.
Piaggio 180 Lima Golf, Ouargla Tower, roger, continue approach ILS runway 36.
That's CI36 there, so I went and made the call. I wish you could make it not do that. Alright, we are below 180. We're going to go gear down and...
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, wind 060 at 4, runway 36, cleared to land.
Okay, flaps mid. Clear to land, runway 36, 0 Lima Golf. Alright, slowing down to right about there. Slower, slower. Approach. And full flaps. Gear down and confirm 3 greens. Lights are all set. Flaps down, confirm down, slowing down to approach speed. Heading is good. Glide slope is good. Okay, there's approach. Clear to land.
Approaching runway 36.
Picking up some bumps. Autopilot off. Got some wind from the right. Gonna land long, so let's keep the power on. Go, we'll just let it roll out. We don't need reversers. Gentle on the brakes. Let's go steering on. Those are annoying. I oscillate between I don't even notice them and they're annoying.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, exit at Delta if able, taxi to stand parking 9er via Delta, hold short of runway 19er, then Alpha 4, Alpha Bravo, Bravo 1, stay with me.
Like, I could have exited Delta, but you didn't tell me until I'm all the way down to Charlie. Ouargla Tower, we're gonna have to exit Charlie. That looks seriously uphill.
Piaggio 0 Lima Golf, cross runway 19er, then continue taxi via Alpha 4, Alpha Bravo.
Cross runway 19er, then continue taxi Alpha 4, Alpha Bravo. we're gonna go ahead and cross 19er.
Approaching runway 19.
Run the before taxi in checklist.
Before taxi in. Flaps up.
Check.
Radar off.
Check.
TCAS set to standby.
Check.
Anti-collision light.
Ground.
Set to ground.
Auto feather off.
Auto feather switch.
That's test.
Set to off. Pitot and static heat. Set to off. Windshield heat. Set to low. Taxi clearance received.
Check. Lights.
Taxi lights. Set to on. Steering mode. Set to taxi. Before taxi in checklist complete.
Okay, there was an issue with the auto feather going to test. Let's see, did other things get set up right? Okay, PITO's good. Windshield is good. Taxi clearance, taxi lights, that went well. And steering mode taxi, okay. One more checklist. The shutdown checklist. Also, I think prop RPM should come down, at least to flight idle. I'm gonna brake for a moment, because I can't. That gives you a lot more controllability and you don't have to ride the brakes as much. I can't tell if those are lights or a plane inbound. Those have got to be lights, okay. I don't know where it's sending me to. That's a big plane. What is that? It seemed to be in my spot though. Let's try this one again. I can't. see if we got power here. Yep, we should. Okay, ground power off, ground power on. Let's set the parking brake first. Okay, and then run the shutdown checklist.
Shutdown. Parking brake. Whoa. Engaged.
That's so
Leads.
funny. Leads off.
Set to off. Throttles. Set to idle.
Check.
Propeller RPM to ground idle. Check.
Check.
Ground power unit connected.
Check.
Engine shutdown.
Check. No, it should turn off the lights and stuff.
Position light.
Off.
Set to off. Anti-collision light. Set to off. Recognition light. Set to off. Seatbelt
slow.
sign.
Maybe I should
Set
turn
to
all
off.
these off at once.
Main switch panel. Set to off or norm.
Okay, it should be turning the generators off. EPU. I can't tell if those are off or not.
Fuel panel.
Avionics off.
Set to closed or off.
We don't really want avionics off though. Okay, good. Are those off or standby? They just went to standby, so that's wrong.
Engine and prop panel. Set to off or norm.
So now it's doing these if they were on. Oil coolers. I don't know why it does ignition switch. Those
Hydraulic
wouldn't be
switch.
on. Off, there we go.
Set to off.
Hydraulics.
Cooling fan.
Should go
Set to
into
off.
fan. Need to work on this one, obviously.
Battery switch.
Don't turn my battery
Set
off.
to off.
Oh, you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's
Ground power
fine.
unit disconnected. All covers installed. Shutdown checklist complete.
Okay. SkyOps, we've arrived and the mission is completed.
Excellent job on the VIP transport mission. Mr. LeBlanc and his team are grateful for the smooth and luxurious flight. Your landing was rated 8 out of 10. Well done.
All right, we are out of here. Have a good one. Bye-bye.